Good morning and welcome to the homestead, the Florida homestead that is. So we're still in the camper, still in Florida. It's kind of a cool Saturday morning. I think it's like 40 degrees out. Well, it was. The sun's out now, so it'll warm up pretty quick. We've had an issue with our toilet in the camper. It's one of the ones that has the porcelain bowl and the foot pedal. We noticed when we started out on this trip, the water wasn't staying in the bowl. And what I mean by that is, like, if you put a little bit of water in the bottom of the toilet when you're done flushing it, you leave a little behind, you know, the way the pedal works, it would leak down in, and that's actually letting sewer gases back into the camper as well. We're not noticing any foul smells or anything, but that is, you know, an issue. So I started doing a little research on it, and what I figured out was that there's this rubber gasket, and I bought these kits on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below. I bought two. Mostly just because, hey, I got the toilet all apart. They're like 15 bucks a piece, and if I screw up, I want spare parts. I bought two different brands actually too, just because. But this rubber gasket goes in between the porcelain and the plastic, and that big plastic ball rides against that, and that's what seals the water into the bowl and seals the gases from coming out. And you'll see how soft that is and pliable. What I've come to understand, or believe I understand, is that when these campers set, this will dry out and gets hard, and then it doesn't seal well. We know in the particular case of this camper, it was 2 years old when we got it. It was owned by an older couple who had it in a seasonal lot, and we also know that somewhere on year 2, I think it was her, not him, that had a broken leg, foot, hip, something that caused them to take and trade this camper in for a tag behind that doesn't have the steps that go up into the bedroom and bathroom. Something, not so high getting up into it like a fifth wheel is. And we could just kind of tell by looking at this camper that it probably was used maybe 2 or 3 times in 2 years. There was like a little scratch in the cabinet in the bedroom and one little scratch on the table, and that was it. Everything else was just spotless. You wouldn't have known the difference. So I think the moral of my rant there is that, from what I can gather, if you don't use your camper a lot, or like in the winter when you seal it up, one of the things that you really want to do is take something like this plumber's grease. And I have no particular affiliation with this brand. It was just recommended by Amazon when I bought this kit. But you want to take some of this plumber's grease with the water off, of course. And if you're concerned about germs and stuff, you can put on the gloves, the latex or nitrite or whatever they call them. Take a little bit of that plumber's grease, and you want to put your foot on the pedal, and you want to reach down in there, and you want to lather this rubber gasket all up with plumber's grease and let the ball close. And that's going to keep that soft when it's setting, like over the winter or when you're not using it. And if you got a toilet that you notice is just starting to leak down, like if you put a couple inches of water in the bowl and you come back 4 or 5 hours later and it's almost gone, you probably can do the plumber's grease and bring the rubber back. In our case, with 4 or 5 inches of water in the bowl, within about 30 seconds it's gone. So we know the rubber is just too hard. We did, in this kit, you get a couple parts. You get the gasket that seals the toilet to the floor, and then you get these spacers. And I opened probably the wrong kit because I'm looking at this one. It's got nice colored instructions, and this one's got the basic instructions. We have the Thetford toilet. I took a picture. It's on the very back and down near the floor, and I held my phone down in behind the toilet, took a picture of the label. Now this is like something plus. I can't remember. I think it's just the plus. But anyways, this is the kit for it. But this kit is a little universal, and it fits a bunch of different toilets. And I believe these spacers are to replace the spacers if you have a bolt-down toilet bowl. So the porcelain bowl sets on top of a plastic base that has the foot pedal. And in our case, there's 2 little bolts in the back that take a 10mm socket. And those are just anti-rotation bolts. You take those out, and you turn the bowl a little bit, and it lifts right off 4 key pegs. So I don't believe we're reusing these. We'll see together when we get in there. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward from what I can tell on YouTube, watching a bunch of videos. Most people go ahead and remove the toilet, but ours is kind of cattywampus in the corner. And you got to get this ratchet in there and take out 2 10mm bolts, and you got to get a pair of pliers in there and unhook a water line, because your foot valve has a water line that goes up to an aerator that goes into the bowl, and we're going to be taking the bowl off, so we have to break that water connection. So we have gone ahead and shut off the water to the camper. We've drained all the lines. we're in good shape. We've gone ahead and cleaned everything up with disinfectant wipes, you know, because we're going to be down in there. We're going to take these with us. We're going to take our tools and we're going to go in and we're going to tear that toilet apart. And we're going to see if we can't make this work. And if we can't, you guys are going to Camping World with us and we're getting a new Dometic 320. They're a little pricey. I think they're like $300 if I remember right. And there's nothing wrong with the Thetford. Don't get me wrong. It's just that's what they have at Camping World. So if I screw up the toilet, you guys get to go to Camping World with us. So, and we may end up taking the toilet out. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to get in there with these tools and get it apart like I think I can. And if we can't, we have the gasket for the floor, so we'll do that. But yeah, hey, quick joke for you. Why did Tigger stare into the toilet? No idea? He's looking for poo. All right, bad joke, I know. Let's get our tools, let's get in the bathroom and see if we can't get this thing apart. All right, so we're in our spacious bathroom. Sue and I are both in here with you guys, so it's kind of crowded. We have our 10mm socket, we have our big pliers, we brought our wipes, we bought a paper towel. I'm going to have to work in the back of this toilet. You guys probably aren't going to be able to see much of anything I'm doing. I've already gone ahead and unhooked the water line, is what I need the pliers for. You might, if you come down here, you might be able to see what I'm talking about right here. This clear plastic hose right here has this clamp that goes onto the foot valve down here that you step on. And I've gone ahead and already unhooked that. You can see it goes right there. That slides right on just like that. Oh, wait, no, over here. I'm watching the camera too, guys. I can't even see what I'm doing. But that comes off there. And the bolts are way inside here. I'll show you the bolts when we get to the part. I've already taken one out, so I'm pretty confident this is going to work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the next 10 minutes ratcheting this bolt out. This is about 2 inches long. And you don't get much swing on this cheap Harbor Freight ratchet, but it's what I have. So we'll bring you back as soon as we get this bolt out, and we'll show you how to take the toilet apart. So these are the bolts that I'm talking about. They go through the porcelain and down into the plastic base just to keep the toilet from rotating. So those are what I took out. We're good to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rotate the toilet, pick it up, but I'm going to stand up and then we'll just have to figure this all out as we go because we're in a kind of a confined space. Perfect world, I probably would have taken the door off the bathroom. So, you know, because with Sue in here too. If you're doing this alone, you could just pick it up, turn around, set it down. But we'll figure it out. So the toilet, the bottom down here is plastic. And there's a seam right here, and this is porcelain. So we're just going to turn it like that. That's all there is to it. Now we're going to lift it up, and what I actually may do is I may take a break. I may go get a towel, put it in the shower here, and I may just set this toilet upside down in the shower, because that I can do with you guys in here with me. So why don't you hold on, I'm going to go get a towel. And the towel really is just to keep me from scratching anything. There's no water here anymore. So I'm going to lift that off there. I'm going to set that right in there. And that's it. So there's our gasket that we have to change. And you'll see there's a little bit of plumber's grease on the bottom of the toilet. That's not poo, it's plumber's grease, I promise. So I'm going to go ahead and clean everything up, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to put the new gasket in. We'll drop the toilet on. So we got our new gasket, we got our plumber's grease. And back here is where the 2 bolts I was working on go. Where my fingers are. You can see in the toilet too, there's 2 holes back here. So the main connection is these 4 circles. You can see they're kind of off-centered. You drop it down on there and turn it, and it keys right into these hooks. Holds everything down. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a little plumber's grease on this thing. Ooh, this is a little runnier than I expected. I'm not really sure what I expected plumber's grease to be. I'm going to drop a handful of it down in there. That sits on there like that. We're going to go ahead and put some on the bottom of the toilet. I don't know, I figured more is better than too little. It'll just kind of scoosh out places and wash away. I'm going to put a little bit more right in here too, just for poops and giggles, as they would say. Ha ha ha. Alright, so that there. I'm going to grab a paper towel and clean up, and we're going to put the toilet back together. Alright, so I carefully set it down on my pins. I washed them behind, and I set it straight down so I didn't move my gasket. So now all I have to do is turn it clockwise a few degrees. It'll be ready to put my bolts in and hook up. So I'm going to see if I can get in here without getting in you guys' way. Turn it clockwise. There it is. If we open it up, you'll see the gasket looks like it's in place where it belongs. So now we're going to go ahead and put our bolts in, hook the water up, see if it works. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're done. I do want to mention that those two bolts that go down through the porcelain, you just want to snug them up. They're just there to keep the thing from rotating. You don't want to get too crazy because this is porcelain and you can break it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some water in this thing now. And by the magic of camera time, we're going to bring you guys back here in about 30 minutes, which is right about now. All right, we've been 30 to 45 minutes. Let's go in and see if there's still water in the toilet. I actually haven't looked, so I'm going to let you guys go first, and I'm going to peek over your shoulder.
Good news.
Good news. We have water in the toilet. So I know that may be a little convoluted in the video, but I think that whole repair process probably took us 20 minutes, give or take. And that's with Sue and I both in the bathroom and a camera going at the same time. I think probably, if you've never done it before, you want to allot out probably 30 minutes to do it. But it's not a complicated project, as you saw. The big thing, like I said, is just being careful not to break anything. Having a backup plan if you do, because if you're out in the middle of nowhere and this is your only toilet and you break it, well, you're going to be using a 5-gallon bucket. So we have another facility on site that we can use, and Camping World is only about 20 minutes away, so we were pretty confident. But yeah, that's how we repaired the toilet on a cold Saturday morning. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.